So I had never made any kind of video on YouTube before, but now that I've purchased a Jaguar XJS V12, I have been the beneficiary of other people's kindness and good work in documenting what can go wrong with the engine and the distributor by reading the Jag Lovers website and Kirby Palm's excellent book. Thank you for all that hard work. Thanks to them, I learned quite a bit about this distributor. And after I took mine apart, I realized actually a video might be even more helpful than the books were to kind of bring it all together. So to the point, this is the Jaguar XJS distributor, the heart of the machine, and it's plagued with problems. One of the main problems is the mechanism simply overheats. The oil that gets in there fries, and the distributor stops working properly. It'll keep turning, but the advanced mechanism, and that's this piece right here, along with these weights that go underneath it, freeze up completely. And when that happens, you have no more mechanical advance. And then the other half of the equation is there's a vacuum modulating assembly here, which also fails. And when that fails, you have no vacuum advance. So therefore, your engine is running with very retarded ignition. There's no advance. Your power is way down, your performance is way down, and the engine overheats and destroys the car. All due to really simple and preventable problem. But it is a bit of a bear to fix. So this is the bottom half of the distributor. It's actually two pieces. Here's the other piece that I had sitting off to the side. This bolts onto here, makes it one assembly. And once that's together, this spindle is supposed to spin very freely on the shaft here. And it does now. I didn't take any videos of how I found it. However, when I found it, the rotor mounts right to this shaft here. And I could turn it, but it took a lot of effort. I was not working against the springs. I was working against all the goo that was on this shaft. And you really could barely turn it. Definitely had no advanced mechanism to speak of under centrifugal force of the weights or vacuum for sure, if I could barely turn it at all. This bottom unit itself actually was pretty well seized up. There's a shaft. This is the shaft that goes in the middle of this assembly and connects up to the gear on the bottom, the cam-driven gear. There's a welded pin here that you can take out and separate, but I haven't done that. There's also a little hole. What I've done instead, when I first got this, it was also pretty hard to turn. They warn you in the book, the easy thing that a lot of mechanics do is just spray a little penetrant in, and suddenly it seems like everything's fine, both in this hole and through the top for that mechanism, for the advanced mechanism. And it's deceiving because the penetrant dissolves away and you're still left with varnish. And you check the next day, if you do check the next day, and you're back to square one. Everything's seized, no advanced, overheating engine. But in this case, you can see it spins, zero pressure now, very little effort at all. I used some Croil, great stuff. I think I did it about 4 times. I'd get some Croil in there. I'd move it around, let it eat up the varnish. Then I'd spray some, degreaser in a can to clean that out. Now at this point, it seems pretty well cleared up. So I would, at this point, add some synthetic engine oil to this hole and put it back in the car, I think, and I think we'll be fine. If you wonder if you've helped, the trick is, if it seems like it's fine today, let it sit for a day and come back and check the next day. And does it still spin just as freely? If it does, you probably got rid of the varnish and garbage in there. If it doesn't, that means it re-solidified and you're back to square one. But back to this, I thought it was useful to make this video. When you assemble this unit, they mention in the website something they call the thingy, and I have misplaced it all of a sudden. Let's see here.